my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be about the latest Final Destination movie. So if you do not like spoilers, I feel you should exit, because obviously that's the point of this video, to give spoilers. Anyway, in general, Final Destination is just a movie about people that escape death, and because of that, death starts to hunt them one by one. If you watch every previous Final Destination, it's always about the fact that there are a bunch of people. There's usually someone that starts with some sort of forgotten what they call it, when you're in a trance state, and then in the trance state they see that an accident happens, and then they see everybody die in the accident, and then after seeing everybody die, they die last. Then after that, they come back to reality, and then everything starts happening like how everything was happening before the accident happens. So then they just start to tell. So let's say when they're coming, let's say they're in a car, and when they're driving through the car, they saw a bus that said be safe. They saw a child that was trying to catch her puppy. They're like the most random things, and then after they leave the trance states, they'll start seeing all those things happen one after the other, and then they'll know that, oh damn, there's supposed to be an accident happening, so I better be careful. And then they start to warn people. So now, because they're shouting, everybody get out, accident, accident, some people that were supposed to die will see that and be like, is this lady crazy? And then they'll be stalled because they're trying to. And then they'll now find out that after in few minutes, where let's say the accident was supposed to happen in the forefront, the accident will now actually happen in the forefront, but she or the person and every other person that's around them would not be in the accident, obviously, because they're all stalled by her or him, whoever is in the trance. So every I'm not calling season, every movie there's always a different person with a different accident story that escapes. So what happens is, after that happens, death comes to because according to the movie, when you're supposed to die, you're supposed to die. If you try to cheat death gets pissed off and come back for you, in the most horrifying way. I don't think I can show it because I don't think YouTube will allow me to show something like that. But for some people, their brains can be they can be lying down somewhere, and then this happened, that happened, this burns, something burns here, and then their brain, while they're struggling with the fire, something just falls and smashes their brain, or maybe something can pull their teeth, maybe one after the other, because I don't know, it's always just so very, very disgusting. So in general, that's what Final Destination is about, in case you've never seen any of the Final Destination before. So now I'm going to be talking about this particular Final Destination. So this particular Final Destination, the beginning was, as usual, a lady was going somewhere with her fiance. I guess it wasn't her fiance at the time, spoiler, it was her boyfriend, but he wanted to take her to this nice place that I think he was very hyped that the place was about to open. So the place was this very, very nice rooftop. I don't know how many spaces I have on my phone, so I'm going to try to explain it as fast as possible. But so at the beginning he blindfolded her, and then they were driving to this nice place. So when they got there, she was like, oh my god, I couldn't tell if she was excited or not, but I guess she was more terrified rather than excited. I don't know, she was happy but terrified. That's what it was looking like to me. Anyway, so yeah, he took her to the place. Everything was seeming so scary, kind of. So she was scared. They entered this elevator, and there were a lot, so it was just quite scary. What if it breaks? There's so many people and but they entered the elevator to the main place. So the main place is supposed to be like a restaurant it's like a very tall building, and at the top of the building is a restaurant, and in the restaurant the restaurant is more like a see-through restaurant. So even the dance floor was see-through, everywhere was see-through. But you know those places where they use glasses, very, very thick glass, that's supposed to withstand pressure and all those things. So that's what it was supposed to be. So the restaurant was supposed to, according to what they were saying, it was opened earlier than it was intended to. So I went to watch it at the cinema. Someone was like, is that supposed to be a good thing? That's it, why did they open it too early? Anyway. So yeah, she was scared, she was terrified, she was just looking at everything she was trying to be calm. Her boyfriend was trying to calm her down. So yeah, she was getting nauseous because she was scared and everything. So while she was trying to calm her nerves, long story short, her boyfriend took her outside to the balcony area, and proposed to her. That was supposed to be romantic because he's kneeling down to say, will you marry me, in a very, very mad view, looking at, because there was the ocean by this side, there was the road here and different stuff. So, and it was like, I think it was very cliff as well. I don't even know. Yeah, there was a cliff as well. I don't know. Just it was where the restaurant was. It was actually very nice. That looks like kind of restaurant that every normal person wants to pay for to experience. Like the view, the this, it's scary, so the thrill. It's kind of cool. So yeah, when she went, I'm trying not to explain this too much. So bottom line was, she received the ring. When she received the ring, there was this little boy that, I'm so sorry, but I was just like, please, can this boy die already? Because that boy was so stubborn. These kind of people that have coconut head. By coconut head, in case you don't know what that means, coconut head, those people that don't hear words. You tell them go. When you say go, they'll be like, that means I must come. Like, I don't know, they just have. So they told the boy not to throw one particular thing and one particular coin, that because of how high they are in the sky, if you throw it down, because of the force, it's like a bullet. Bullets are very, very easy to kill you, I guess, because of the amount of pressure that comes out with it when it's coming out from a gun, right? So you're throwing something from a very, very high upside. Anybody that falls down on it can literally pierce through their skin. It can literally kill them. But nope, that boy has coconut head. He still threw it after the guard guy left, and when he threw it, that was one of the things that caused the entire building. The entire building collapsed. It broke down. Some people caught fire because that particular one caused the fire. The building broke down because of the pressure. The people that constructed it didn't construct it well. So the pressure, the height, there were so many people. So I guess it was a little bit still overweight, like it was carrying so many people. So many things happened. The building broke down and people died in the most horrible way. People died in the most horrific way. So she was the last person. No, she and one little boy. So as she fell down, she was trying to save the little boy, but I guess because she got in the process, I don't want to explain it further, but her hand got skinned. The flesh of her hand got skinned off her hand. Anyway, so she got skinned, like her hand got skinned off. The flesh of her hand got skinned off her hand. She fell down from the cliff with the little boy she was trying to protect. They're the last two at this point that were still there. Her fiancé had died. The dance floor at some point broke off. People fell into the dance floor because the very tall building, so it's like falling from the tallest building in Dubai down. You know you're dying. Come on. So people died. Some people got burnt alive because of all the things. So different things were happening there. So at this point we're the last two. So after she died, the little boy died. But now, after she died and she watched the little boy fall like a second after her, right? Something I forgot to say, she was pregnant at the time. So she found out she was pregnant. She was about to tell her fiancé. So when he proposed to her on the rooftop, she was like, oh, I expected a baby, and that, and was happy. So after she died, then the movie took it back to where he took her to the rooftop to propose to her. So at this point, nothing had happened, nobody had died yet, etc. So as she just saw that, as she came back, she saw the little boy, the guard guy trying to stop the little boy from throwing the coin I said he was about to throw. She saw different things that were like, wait, my trance is not just a trance, it's a vision. And then she went to the dance floor, she went to stop everything, she went to tell them that dance was about to break, this is about to happen, that's about to happen. She went to stop all the things, the one that caused the fire, she went to stop it, she went to stop dance floor from breaking, she went to stop everything. So apparently because of how people did not die. But we know this, I think I should have said this way after. But we know this because after she fell down and she died, there was a lady that woke up. She just woke up from her slumber kind of in class. And then her lecturer was like, oh, complaining and stuff. So she was supposed to be like an A student, scholarship student. Her grades were going down. And according to her, because she keeps having the same dream every night, where she keeps seeing this woman that has the exact name as her grandmother that died. That has the exact name as her grandmother. And then this woman keeps dying. And it's the exact same way she dies, the exact same everything. So she decides, so her roommates told her to go back home so she can find a solution to it, right? So that everything can stop. But at this point, she was starting to already piss off her roommates by waking up middle of the night and just doing the most dramatic things. not really dramatic because someone's having a bad trip, what do you expect? Anyway, so yeah, she takes her roommate's advice. She goes back home, she talks to her dad. She's like, oh, I'd like to see a picture of grandma because I keep having this vision of somebody that has the exact same name as grandma, and I don't know how she placed grandma with the dream just because of name, I don't know. But she was like, she had the same name and I keep seeing her die, so please can I see what grandma look like? Can I see grandma's picture? Because I've never seen grandma's picture before. Her dad didn't want to show her because everybody at this point had cut off grandma. So she went to her cousin's side because her brother was going there, and then she was like, oh yeah, I can ask them for grandma's picture since we don't have picture of grandma in our own house. When she went there, nobody still wants to talk about grandma, and then she keeps insisting and saying she really needs to know that is happening, something crazy things are happening to her. She needs to know. And then her auntie-in-law, aka her auntie, was like, okay, you know what, no matter what you do not and then she was like, oh, thank you. Obviously that means go and check if you want to know. And then she went to check the drawer for like her grandma's letters, and then when she checked it, she realized that she just found the address to where her grandmother was. Everyone told her not to, like, everyone told her to drop the grandma's case because at this point grandma is seen as a forbidden fruit. But she went to go and check out for grandma, and then when she went to see her grandmother, it took a while. Like, her grandmother was in a place that was so fortified. It's like a little house in a part that is surrounded by fence and gates, and inside the little house there are like multiple traps and different things, I guess, to scare people from coming in and stuff. And she keeps putting the, oh, do not come to my property, trespassing, So long story short, she gets in there. The grandma lets her in because she says, I'm your granddaughter. Anybody can say that, but according to the movie, that's a good reason for you to trust somebody. So yeah, the grandma lets her in. She gets into the house. The grandma is kind of skeptical because she has a huge guard up and she didn't want to let her guard down. So according to the grandmother, what happened, so the grandmother now explains the part I just said at the beginning, which is, oh, because she realized that it was a trance, she had to scare everybody off from that particular place. And then when she scares everybody off from that particular place, she tells everybody, oh, we're going to die, look at the ground floor, the dance floor is about to break, and then people see the cracks and stuff like that. So everybody believes her. So hundreds of people were saved because of grandma. Hence why grandma was able to like give birth to her baby, have more kids and thereabouts. But now, according to the death timeline, grandma was supposed to have died, and if grandma is supposed to have died, it means her baby would have died too, since her fiance also died. So it means the entire line of kids that are supposed to come out through the two of them is disappeared. It means no grandma means no family underneath. It's like those people that die early, because they are dead, they never got to reproduce, so their children do not exist. But if they had died late and they had kids, they would have had a particular line of kids. I hope that was a very good way to explain it. Anyway, I'm trying to summarize the movie, so I'm not going to say scene for scene and every single thing. I'm trying to just summarize it so that it's not going to be 2 hours like the movie. I guess the movie is about 2 hours or 3 hours or 1.5 or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, grandma tells her that because of the fact that the grandmother is alive and they had kids, now death is trying to kill the grandmother. Like I told you, if you cheat death, according to Final Destination, death will come back for you and kill you in the most miserable way possible. But now, so far, unlike the other sets of Final Destination, now this is someone that cheated death to the point that they even reproduced, they even had their own children. Now the only reason why she was able to have kids and still live and still have some certain thing was because there were hundreds. Usually in Final Destination there are like 10 people maximum. They're never even up to 10 that death have to kill. So it's not going to be, and it takes death a few days to probably kill one person sometimes. So it doesn't take that long to like kill everybody. But for grandma, there are hundreds of people that were dead that night with grandmother, with grandma one. There are hundreds of people that were dead that night, and each single person, and according to how it works, death has to come for the people that were supposed to die first. So it's according to the people that were supposed to die, that died in the trance. That's the order of people that will die even if they do not stay in the trance. Do you get? So it now had to start hunting of them one by one. So it will take a while to get to her own turn. And then for some people, because some people want to like fight it, maybe they'll do different things to fortify themselves, be more this thing. So the longer it takes, the more other people will live their lives before it gets to them. Now with grandma's own, grandma literally stayed in a house, learned everything about it. She found a way to cut things off, because for it to kill, just unlike all those other movies where there's the physical being killing, this one, what happens is it can be like you open your door, the sunlight from the door hits a particular mirror, the mirror hits a particular rope, starts to melt the rope hits something that gets something that blends the person. God forbid, it's not going to happen in my house. It's not going to happen in my house. In Jesus name, fire. Because I keep saying do this, do that. I'm a Christian, and Jesus came and Jesus died for me, and Jesus legendary came and did for death, so I have dominion over death, and by God's stripes I'm healed. I said that meant after watching that movie. Show you the fact that I've mentioned death like 5,000 times. This is a Jesus house, so I'm covered by the grace of God of the Most High. Amen. So she had studied the patterns of how it operates and stuff like that. So she found a way to hold it off for like decades. But now, according to her, she's at the point where she's about to die regardless, because she has cancer. So yeah, she's about to die, but she'll still be holding it off. So yeah, so she comes in, she tells the girl, so the girl comes in, like I said, she tells her about all this, and she tells her that all of them are not supposed to exist, because she's supposed to have died, and she dying means they all were never born normally in the real order of things. So she knows that once it kills her, it's going to come, or once she's gone, it's going to come and kill every single one of her family, every kid, every grandchild, because at this point this is her granddaughter, obviously. So every child, every grandchild needs to be wiped out. So she needs all of them to like be very, very safe. They should come to her side. I don't know, she just starts saying that she's very worried for everybody, it's coming for all of them and stuff. So this girl obviously is very terrified. You're hearing all these things about this and that. Of course you're going to be scared. Who is going to be like okay? Of course not. So she's scared, she's terrified, she's like, I'm so sorry, I came here by mistake, and then her grandma is like, please don't go, I beg you, don't leave, I don't, please, don't leave. And her grandma is speaking, and then now, even when her grandma was talking, because she was there, death still tried to kill her, but then her grandma is like, nope, I'm not stupid, I know you're trying to do something, and then she stops it because it was already melting a rope with sunlight, right? I don't know, it was just insane. So yeah, in case you still want to watch it, you can always pause it here and go watch the movie. Anyway, so she's like, so the girl is like leaving the house at this point. Now grandma is about to leave the house, but she has not stepped out in a while, I guess, probably yes. And then she's stepping out, she gets a flash, because she has so studied it that she understands the pattern of how it kills people, or how it's going to intend to want to kill her. That's how much she has studied it. So she wants to come out, but then she has flashes of, okay, this is how it's going to want to kill her. But then she's like, no, because once she dies, like, mind you, she has cancer, her family members don't want to be around her, kids don't want to be around her, because she made them have a traumatic childhood, because she was always paranoid. She knows like 1 billion ways they can die, which were actually very coming from the fact that, number one, she had the trauma of what happened in the rooftop. Two, she knows that this can happen because it's haunting her. Three, she's studying all these ways that are going to want to kill she and her family, so she's not necessarily being paranoid. My dad is very overprotective when it comes to different ways people can die, to be honest, and different ways people can be victim of horrible things. I kind of understand how the kids feel, so I kind of understand where they're coming from anyway. But anyway, every single of them, they cut her off because she has really traumatized them. So now she knows that once her granddaughter leaves, what are the chances that granddaughter is going to come back before she dies? Very, very slim, because her kids are not even seeing her in decades. She didn't even know she had grandkids. Like, that's how much they're not even seeing her in decades. So she comes out regardless, knowing that she's going to die, because she had gotten the flash of what it's going to do. She knows she's going to die. She had come out, and then she tells her granddaughter that please, her granddaughter should at least take the book, so at least with the book she can find a way to like help preserve the family with the information and knowledge of the book, because the book is a book that grandmother has gathered for decades about how everything works and how everything operates. She gives the girl the book. The girl's like, no, I don't buy all this, I don't believe it. Mind you, she's scared, so she can say that. She's like, I don't buy this, I don't believe this, da da da. Grandma says, okay, fine, you don't believe me, then I guess seeing is believing. Then she shifts from this side, right, to this side. And she just moves, she just says, okay, fine. Then she moves to this side, and then something from behind just damn kills her. And then the girl is like, because the blood splashes on her granddaughter's face, and then that'll show you how much she had already calculated that this high is going to want to kill her. She just went to the right side for it to kill her. She's not even trying to dodge it at this point. She's like, okay, fine, I'm going to let it kill me. God forbid, paraphrase it. She's going to let it, let me talk like a typical Nigerian. And she's going to let it kill her enemy. She's going to let it kill her enemy, aka her, just so that her granddaughter can understand that what I'm saying is the truth. I'm not even capping, right? So now, because of that, granddaughter is scared. She goes back to the family. She's telling everybody that, oh my god, does she tell everybody? Let me try to remember what happened. Okay, I finally remember. So afterwards, it's a funeral. There's a funeral for her, because all of a sudden they know she's dead because the granddaughter is coming from there. So they bury her. They throw a party in her honor to celebrate her life and talk about the fact that even though they're traumatized, they're traumatized, but they hope that they give their children a very, very good thing. Now, mind you, the main character, aka the granddaughter, her mother left them when they were young. So her mother comes for the celebration. She's not really happy because, damn, my mother wasn't there when I was young, kind of stuff, right? So, long story short, during the celebration, the death strikes and kills the first son. So the woman, so how the family tree is there's grandma. After grandma, there's the first son. Then after grandma, there are two. There's grandma. Then there are the two kids. Then there are the two kids. They have a boy, a girl. That's her mom and her uncle. Then under her uncle has 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. Then her own mom has 2 kids, she and her younger brother. So that's the family tree, right? So her uncle dies first, and her uncle dies through a very, very crazy, like his face was blended by what's that thing that looks like a vacuum that you use in a garden to, like, I think to trim the grasses and stuff like that. That machine, yes. His face gets blended with that thing, so it falls down through some this caused this to happen to this and that, and then it falls down. The thing comes from nowhere and blends and grinds it. It was just insane. Anyway, so yeah, after that happens, so yeah, his face gets blended. Everybody's scared. Everybody was like, there's another barrier again. Now after that barrier, she comes to that, she gathers everybody, because she had already like put the map of the people and different stuff and the articles that from the book that her grandmother gave her, and her brother was like, what's that? So she gathers everybody. She tells everybody what her grandmother told her, that everybody death is after their family because of grandma escaped death. She was not supposed to, she was supposed to die, so they're all not supposed to be born, but because grandma died, because grandma did not die, everybody has to be wiped out. So she starts to explain that because there are multiple people that day, death has to kill every single person. So when it starts from the first person to the second person, now if it gets to like the 50-something person, and that 50-something person already has kids, before it goes to the next person after that person, it will kill that person, then it will kill their children. It won't kill the husband, because the husband would exist or the wife would exist with or without them. So it kills the people that are tied to their existence. So it will kill maybe their child or thereabouts, like the people that exist because of them, before it now goes to the next person on the list that was supposed to be there. So I guess it has killed every other person, right? Even though I'm sure it should have been going down family trees, but it had killed every other person for maybe like a few decades, but grandma held it for what, probably 50 years, probably 30 years. She held it for decades. So because she was still alive, and how it works is it cannot kill the next person if the first person is still alive, except sometimes when the way they say, oh, if somebody escapes using this method, then the person gets off the list, then the next person under that person will become the, I don't know, apart from those ones. Normally, if it has to kill the person first before it goes down the tree, so it's like there's an obstacle, the person is the obstacle, it has to melt the person off and then come down. So now that grandma is dead, every other person is open to the paranoia she had always talked about. Everybody's open to like the things that exist. So now that the head of the family is gone, she was now explaining that now it has to wipe out. Now because of her, there is her first child and the family that should have never existed as well. So now it has to wipe out that entire generation. Then it now go to her second child, wipe out the generation. So since he killed her uncle, it's going to come for her uncle's children. So it's going to start from the first son to the middle child, which is the daughter, then the last one, which is the third son. So nobody believes her. Everybody's looking at her like, really, really, girl, like, really? You want to be an FA now? You want to be a bookworm? You want to be a geek right now? Like, you saw what happened? Everybody's angry, everybody's sad. Grandma just like their dad just died, and look at what she's saying, and blah blah blah. So everybody's angry at her, but she's still trying to convince everybody she please listen. Like, grandma told her and it's happening, and grandma da da da. Nobody answers her, right? Moving forward, but I'm still fine this movie. I'm tired. I'm about to edit. Anyway, so moving on to the first son. He works as a tattoo artist in a particular shop. He's grieving. His dad just died. Da 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 da. So I'm not going to explain how, but he's supposed to like literally almost die. Wait. Wow, I forgot to put my microphone. So the part that I said previously, if you don't hear that part, I hope you can hear. I'll try to make sure that the sound is good, but in case I don't know how well you'll be able to hear it, because I forgot to connect my microphone and my background is extremely noisy. Oh my gosh. So the first one, the tattoo artist, like I said, so that came for him that night. He had this nose piercing, so it got hooked up with one of the chains that was close to the fan. So it started, I don't know, like at some point the fan tangled the chain to the point that he clipped his nose subconsciously, his nose ring, and started trying to like lift him up to the ceiling, and it was going to like probably won't come out. Like, it was just insane. So the guy was almost supposed to die. He was supposed to die through that thing, and then when that thing like lifts him to a certain point, he'll fall down to a burning fire. Somehow it's caused a fire. The whole death thing caused a fire, and then he was supposed to be burnt alive and then explode, or so I don't know, like some crazy things, right? But he ended up surviving. So because he was the first on the list, his cousin, aka the girl, the main character, I don't know what her name is, I cannot remember what her name is, but the main character, I think that's what I'm she gets scared. That's her cousin, so she keeps calling him like, oh, are you okay? At some point he just tells her he's sleeping, obviously when he's still at work, because she was starting to irritate him and stuff like that. So after a while, the next day they find out that his office, his workplace caught fire. They were scared. They went to his house to look for him. Then he talks about the fact that, oh yeah, he escaped, that she should stop being paranoid, that she's very annoying and stuff like that. So he was like, yes, it's because it's coming for you, death is coming, da, da, da. And then he was that for him and stuff like that, but he was just like ignoring her. At some point, then making jokes, talking about how it's probably invisible, maybe that's it, right? And then she keeps like trying to like get him to like calm down, because the way things were going, it was possible that he could just. Then she now described the scenario of how it's most likely can kill him, like the most random thing, like it's just going to cause this to this to this, and then his sister comes out, looks at her, tells her seriously, and then just leaves. And then those random things happen to his sister, and then while they're trying to like help his sister and cause her to like help her and stuff like that, she dies. So she enters it. She subconsciously gets sucked into this dustbin truck, this bin truck, and then it's just, I think it closes, I mean, it grinds everything that is in it or something, I don't even know. So it ends up grinding her like this. Like if this is the back of the truck, it comes in, it comes in like this, and then presses things. I guess because it smashes all the dirt together or something like that. I don't even know how that's supposed to. But so she gets grounded and busted, so all her facial features just so the main character, because she at some point she climbed the truck while they're chasing the truck, while others are trying to get the attention of the driver. So she chases the truck, she's trying to like pull her out, but she was struggling to pull her out because their hands were not like reaching, and before anything can even be done, the girl's face just gets squashed together. Very disgusting thing, very disgusting scene anyway. And then everybody now starts to believe her because she described exactly how the girl would die. Everybody now is like, how did you know she was going to die like that? Blah, blah, blah. So now everybody starts to give her attention. So now they get scared, like, why did it leave him and come for the second daughter? Is it that But then they now realize that he didn't kill the firstborn. I guess he left the firstborn that day because they found out that the boy wasn't actually their dad's child. He's the child. Their auntie confesses that she had an affair and she cheated on her husband. So the boy was a product. So that's not his actual dad. So since that's not his actual dad, he's not from the grandmother's bloodline. So obviously he's not part of the target because he would have existed with or without the grandma. So I guess that's why it was abandoned. So it goes down to the second born, which was the bloodline, because that was the actual daughter of the man, aka grandma's granddaughter. Now, meaning it's coming for the last born. Now everybody's scared. The last born is scared. He knows he's next on the list. Now everybody wants to look at the book. So now they're thinking how they found that, oh, truly somebody survived. So now they're like, no. Yes, so somebody survived. So they're like, so the grandmother writes in her book that JP found the survivor. So she was like, okay, since JP found the survivor, let's go meet JP to like if we can get JP, rather JP can tell us about the survivor and how we can survive. Now their mother knows who a JP is because their mother is because her own mother, aka the grandma, used to talk about a particular JP when they were younger. So their mother is like, you know what, let's go and look for this JP. I think I know the JP. He works in a hospital. They tried to marry the hospital because of social media and Google day and age. They could actually track the hospital. So they tracked the hospital. The guy that was about to die did not want to be left home in the house because of course he could die faster. He's alone, for crying out loud. So he follows them to the place. Everybody talks about the fact that, oh, they're going to try to protect him. They all go to the hospital. They find JB. JB is now at this point is probably in his early 50s or late 40s or thereabout. He looks old, I guess probably in his 50s. So JB is like tired of the whole thing. He's like, he has been trying to avoid death for years. At this point, he just wants to enjoy his life. If he dies one day, he's going to die. It's going to come for him eventually, and whatever he's tired, he's going to just like So JP is not interested in helping them at this point. JP is just like, you know what, you're all going to die. Accept you're all going to die, and just the earlier you accept it, the earlier you move on your life. So they don't know what to do. But before JP leaves them and is like, JP is like, okay, that way the way the person was able to like avoid it was that they have to actually die. So if you actually die by yourself and come back to life, you are seen as you were actually dead. So whether you come back to life or not, it's not death business. You shall die. So if they can find a way to die and then come back to life, then they'll be safe. So I don't know how they made it seem. I think they made it seem like if one person, like whoever is next in line, dies and survives, every other person is supposed to be safe. I don't know how that's supposed to work and how that makes sense, but that was what they were trying to explain. So he leaves them and he's like, nope, he doesn't care to help anybody anymore. He doesn't give a damn. She's dead. Their grandma is dead. So let him just enjoy his life because he's about to die too. So yeah, so the firstborn that's the cousin, the tattoo cousin, he was like, you know what? What if, since my brother has a peanut butter allergy, I skipped that part because I can't talk about every part. So since he has a peanut butter allergy, why don't we give him the peanut butter, let him die, let him react to the point that he dies, and then since we're in the hospital, we'll ask the doctors to bring him back to life, and then everybody's safe, no more dying, right? That's what he said. Sounds like a good idea in theory, but why would you want to kill your brother so easily? Are you a psychopath? Anyway, that's what he said he was going to do. So he snatches his brother from everybody's midst, because nobody's going to want that, right? He snatches the boys out. He gives the boy peanut butter. Even when they were trying to even give the boy, the way he was even acting, the boy was scared. He was not even like, that guy is the, I don't know if he's supposed to be an amazing brother, but I could never tell if he didn't care like his younger brother, if he didn't care about his younger brother. It was just being a dude. I don't know. It just came up so weird. So regardless, he kills his, I'm just looking up this guy because I'm legitimately trying to like picture the movie. That's why I can remember it. So he gives his brother peanut butter. Brother eats it, starts to react, wants his insulin. Is that what it's called? That thing that you inject in yourself. So he wants that. He's like, no, you have to die so that we can bring you back to life. We need you to die. But mind you, at that point, Death was already trying to kill the boy, was trying to kill his younger brother, the same way he was like, no, we need you to die, we need you to die. So Death is already giving all the signs, because when it's coming, they'll be like, no, it's a little bit of this thing, there'll be this happening, that happening, all this simultaneous thing happening, just to orchestrate it. Like it's insane. It just made me be like, wow, the spirit world is actually insane. So to an extent, some coincidences might not be coincidence even in real life, because that's what that movie makes it look like. Anyway, so it's coming, so like different things are happening. And now another thing that JB said was that, I can't believe I can't remember anybody's name, but I can remember JB's name. I think their grandmother's name was Irish, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so at this point, JB is like, so at this point, JB tells them before, when they went to speak to him, that if you try to mess with Death, he gets very angry and he does something worse. So, but yeah, the other brother is still trying to do that. Now, while they are doing different things, Death causes them, or tries to turn on the, maybe like through different things, this pause on this, and then this mistakenly hits this and thereabout. So it causes the one particular machine to come on. Now the machine is supposed to be, I think, for emergencies or one of those useful machines in the hospital, but it sucks in magnets. So anything that is, it sucks in, it magnetizes anything that is iron, steel, stuff like that. So it starts to magnetize, and then the intensity increases per percentage, and as it's increasing, at some point for the other brother, it starts to bring out every single metal in his body. So it's magnetizing, it's his boob piercing, so it's just shoots to the machine. The one in his belly also, I don't know, shoots I don't know, I have like a belly piercing. I was traumatized when I was so traumatized. I was like, should I take it out? Should I take out my earrings? So it sucks in the belly piercing. It's about to suck the one in his dick. I know about to suck the one in his dick because it was just rising and stuff. Like it was trying to like suck it out. And then the crazier one, why was he trying to suck out the one in his dick? And it was obviously tearing and trying to leave his body. It was so painful. You could just feel, I didn't see that part, but the way it was moving forward in his trousers, I could tell that it's tearing on the inside. Then the wheelchair he used to carry his brother in, since his brother was supposed to like take this stuff, die, and then be rolled with the wheelchair outside to where the EU is. That's the emergency unit. He uses the wheelchair, like it magnetizes the wheelchair, and then the brother is in front of the wheelchair, so he drags both he and the wheelchair together. And then because the wheelchair is trying to enter inside the machine has this hole that everything is supposed to enter through. The machine is trying to enter so bad that it's going through the brother. Now the brother is human, he has flesh, so he does not have a metal part, so is anything behind him trying to go through him. So at some point his body started to tear and different stuff like that. Everything was just tearing and trying to like come out of his body. And then his body was like, because everything was trying to come out, they were behind him, so they were pushing so forward that his back and his waist, everything was tearing and bending like this. So his back was bending, so were his legs. It was just so horrifying. And yeah, at some point everything just got sucked in. So why so at the stage everything was as it was killing his brother. Mind you, the boy that the death was actually supposed to come for, because it's the elder brother. I don't know if I explained that part too. But it was the elder brother that was getting sucked, and the elder brother was getting sucked because he interfered with the death timeline by trying to save his younger brother in his own weird way, right? So death got mad at him and tried to kill him, hence why it made sure that he was sucked in. But now the younger brother was trying to get in. He was trying to get his let's say insulin, I don't know what that was called, to like punch in himself so he can get better. So he struggles to go to where his dying brother is, and then try, because he could not help his brother, because he's like, when people are having like the most lifeless allergies, so they're almost practically dying. So that was the state he was in. He was almost dying. So he gets it, he puts it in his body. Now he's waiting for it to restore his body back to normal, right? Because the particular machine is still sucking other magnets, and he's close to the machine and he can barely move. So he even used his last strength to crawl to where the machine was before his brother finally gets sucked in. Only for one lady to just mistakenly, because she could tell that everything was, even her chain, everything was going towards the machine. So while she was going to the machine side to like maybe see if she can turn it off, something just enters the machine, like a string just entered into the room, and then on the head of the boy, that aka the person that was supposed to die, and then it just slices. I don't know how it slices, but it just pieces his head to the point that his brain comes out, something like that. It was horrific, but it was not horrific as the elder brother. That was kind of annoying. So yeah, now at this point, everybody in the uncle's timeline, everybody in the uncle's line, the uncle's generation is dead. So now that moves to their own mom's generation. So it's not doing by age, it's doing according to generation by generation by generation. So it kills vertically, not horizontally. So now it's now back to the vertical state of their own mom. So it's coming for their mom. So now they're scared. They're like, what are they going to do? JB was actually of no help to them. What are they going to do? So now they remember that, okay, their grandmother was able to stay alive for decades, and she stayed alive by not leaving her house. All they have to do is to make sure that they go to her house and then they stay there. So now the boy is scared that means that he's not going to live his life. He's going to be stuck for the rest of his life in a hut. Like how they going to survive? And above all, his social state, he's going to be isolated from the world, no friends, no nothing, because he's trying to stay alive. So he was already like sad and like crying and stuff like that. But their mother was not like, which was smart. She was like, okay, fine. The entire family doesn't have to go to the hut. She has to go to the hut. If she can get there and she's there, because it kills horizontally, he has to kill her first before it comes to her children. So provided she's there, her children can live their life. So her own life will be sacrificed. But hey, guess what? I don't know, I think their grandmother was probably in her 60s, thinking about it, because their mother was mature. I don't know how old she is. She looks really nice, but she was mature, so she shall live her life to an extent. So she was going to sacrifice the rest of her life just to make sure that her children are alive. Because once she dies, even if it's true the most natural way possible, her children are next. So she was like, she's going to do that. And then she stays there, and then she says she's going to make her way there. Then her children thinks about the fact that, okay, she goes alone, it can kill her, and then she will die, and they will not even know that she's dead. Why? They will think that, oh, they're like, at least cool for now. Nope, it might now come and kill her, and then all of them will die. So they all decided to like go with her so they can carry her there and make sure that she's safe there first. So they enter into the car. The daughter drives them there because their mother almost killed them by being distracted, right? So and since death is onto her, it's not safe that she drives the car. So the daughter takes the car, drives the car. So when they're about to get there, they try to force themselves into the gate, because the gate was so structured that it was hard for anybody to break in. So they try to use their own car to break in. So they use their own car to break in. They're happy. Now like I said, if he wants to kill anybody, it uses like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps to kill somebody. It doesn't just stay like, oh, let me stay here. So it's like how people say if the Lord wants to do something, it's going to cause you to meet somebody that will know someone that like how God orchestrates things, that people say the Lord is a master planner. That's how this death orchestrated things too. So it was insane. So he caused something to hit the girl that fell down, and then caused her seatbelt to malfunction in such a way that the seatbelt refused to open. So the seatbelt was not opening. She was stuck in the car. So while she was stuck in the car, I was trying to help her. She was like, she quickly take her mom into the house. Once they get her mom into the house, her mom is safe, that she's going to be safe, because he has to kill her before he kills her mom. But if they're all here trying to help her, he's going to kill her mom, then kill her, then kill her brother. So they're like, oh, that makes sense. So they go try to get their mom into the house. Now, the death was so smart that it's like, nope, once you get into this house, it might be harder to kill you. So it did the most sensible thing it knew how to do. It blew up the house. So the house just blew up for no reason. When it got to the front gate, it blew up to the point that half of the mother's face got burnt. Her face, you could even see like it was so weird. It burnt half of the mother's face, and while it burnt half of the mother's face, she was like and then so it got about half of the mother's face. Her son was stuck on something, so because of the building exploded, some parts fell on her son's body, that's on the boy's body, that's aka the granddaughter's brother's body. And then while he was trying to remove it, because at that point it's vulnerable, something can fall and smash or something. So their mother was trying to like help him. So while she was trying to help him, you see her have burnt body. So while she tried to help him, immediately she was done helping him, and he was like, oh, Leos, what are we going to do now? Something just comes and smash the woman, or something falls on him. I can't remember. I just know something just kills her. And then he's scared, and then he runs back. Now, mind you, when the thing blew up, the car they were in, that's a big truck, because their mother drives a bus. It was the mother's bus that they used to go meet JB, that they used to go to the woman's house. They used to smash the woman's door and everything, the woman's gate and everything. So when the thing blew up, it tumbled the bus to the point that the daughter fell into a pond, because like there's like a mini lake in the house. So the daughter fell into the pond/lake, and then she was drowning. And because she's tied to the seatbelt, she could not leave the seat, so she was drowning. So while they were still struggling, the boy was still stuck on something. The mother came and helped him and stuff, and he was trying to help him. Boom. She was still, so all this while the guy was still struggling with the drowning and stuff. She was still drowning. So while his mother died, he just ran and started looking for his sister. Ran to, because he knew she was obviously in the bus. Went to the bus, started trying to help her. All this while she has been struggling. So while he was still trying to help her, she he looked for a knife or something. In place of trying to help her, he mistakenly cut almost half of his hand, half of his finger. So he was trying to like help her, and then in the process of she trying to cut the seat belt, she died. I think she passed out. She died, passed out. I don't know. She passed out, and then next thing they showed, she came back, because I think he brought her back. He performed CPR and stuff like that, and then she was fine. So they were happy that okay, that means she died, and then she came back to life. So the next thing that they showed was his graduation. He was happy that okay, finally he finished school, his graduation happened, and then they were just happy. And then while they were happy, when they were going to save her mother, when they were going to carry her mother to her grandmother's house, another thing that happened was the coin that the little boy threw at the beginning, that her grandmother had to collect after the transmission, like it doesn't actually treat the second time, right? It fell off. Her grandmother kept it in the same book that she gave her granddaughter, so it was taped somewhere, so it fell off the book. So a woman picked it, needed to buy something. So after she and her brother had survived the incident, they were brought back to, she was brought back to life and stuff like that, right?
somehow, I don't know how this coin did it, but he found his way and rode somewhere and caused the trains, because you know how train wheels are. If you divert this way, you've if something mismatched in a train's track or in a train's railway, it can cause an accident, right? So it caused something to stop something, and now cause the train to like divide. So that little divide will cause the train obviously to go off track. So that one already happened. So I knew that, these people are about to die. These people they are not saying anything, they're about to die. Only for so yeah, when they were congratulating the boy on his success, so she was like, yeah, my brother saved my life, he brought me back to life from the dead, he brought me from the death and stuff. And then one man was like, nope, he didn't bring you from the dead. If you legitimately drowned, just means that you were unconscious, and he just reset whatever, he shall brought you back from you being unconscious. That's not the same as death. For you to die, your heart actually has to stop. So when your heart stops, you know that, oh, you are actually dead. So if he brought you back to life, if he performed CPR on you, you were never dead. So when he said that, their hearts just started beating. Wait, what do you mean I was never dead? You mean we're still back to this? Actually, that was the thing in their heart, but their hearts was still beating. And while their heart was beating, they just saw train. Like the train had gone so off the rail to the point that it was in the street and it was trying to stop. So it was just destroying everything in its parts. I'm going to insert that particular footage because that was the only one. I literally forgot to record. I was going to record different parts of it so I could talk about it, but I forgot to record. So anyway, it was just going off track and they started destroying everything in its part. This part looked kind of CGI, kind of looked fake, but anyway, while it was destroying everything in its part, there were logs that I don't know, I think there were logs or something in the train, so everything started like spilling out. And then if one of them smashed and blended, just branded the daughter, that's the aka our main character, it just smashed and blended her, and that one smashed and blended her brother. So they even died in the order how they're supposed to die, because he has to kill the older before he kills the younger. So after she died and her brother died, that was the end of the movie. So most people were still waiting in the cinema for after like credits, right? Movies would typically sometimes show one scene. Maybe the scene can be a future generation scene, or it could be the scene of maybe JB dying, since JB was the child that the grandmother saved at the beginning. So after the family, obviously the next in line to that would be JB, and then his own family. So if he has kids and everything, they're all going there, they're all next. So I was thinking that was going to happen, but a part of me was like, nope, all these movies, next thing now. And I even saw in an article, I saw somewhere when I was trying to check if any other person had done this, like if any other person had thought about the Final Destination. When I was trying to check that, I saw that in a particular cinema, the ceiling fell, and the way it fell, somebody would have died. But I think the lady said, someone said she was because of how she was positioned, she was able to dodge it. So you never know. Maybe if I was there, you now say, all of you are next. Ho 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 ho. And because I heard that there are some movies like Veronica, like, because the Final Destination is supposed to be a horror movie. So Veronica, that I don't know if you've heard of Veronica. It was a movie that was so scary that people that watched it died. The people that watched it when it was released at the cinema, everybody died. So what if any other person that left there, they now become the new people that death will now start to hunt? I don't know, but I'm not. I shouldn't be scared, but I'm sorry, I refuse to stay. I was just like, nope. See, I was running because I used to be at that mall. Because I know one time when I was younger, I watched one of the Final Destination, and at the end of it, they said, pick your card, and then they had these 3 cards with skull in it. Me, pick a card with skull in it, so that it now say you will die by da 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 da. And I'm like, can never happen. Then I just exited the movie that time as a child. Me and my siblings, the way we moved it so fast, like, this is how people die. This is how people die in horror movies. We just exited it so fast. So what came to my mind was that could be something that could happen even in real life if I stay in the mall, maybe it's an call for everyone. Let's say all of you that are at the mall, you are on the next list. Hell no. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If anybody watches this, that would be so nice. Or imagine somebody watches this after 2 years, or after 1 year, or after 6 months, or thereabout. Right now my videos are currently getting I think my highest view on, like, not on short, I have some shorts that are close to 1 million views, that are like 800 and something thousand views, 700 and something thousand views, right? I think my highest right now is 700 and something k or 800 and something k, I don't know. And then some are like 400 and 300 and something like that. But my regular video, I'm seeing my highest is like 11 views. My lowest is 1 view. So if anybody sees this video, that would be super nice. Whenever you see this video, you can comment down below if you reach this part. Maybe like, oh, 6 months after, 3 months after, today. I saw it today that you released it, or tomorrow, or 1 year, or thereabout. That'd be so nice. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. The movie was so nice. If you want to see it, see it. If you don't like, if you love horror movies, share it. I was in my face like this the entire time. That I look chubby. Should have been doing my neck like this, but I'll not look chubby. If I do like this, I feel like I'll be looking so but if I did the opposite way, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to rehearse how I could have literally shown jawline and not look weird. Anyway, but thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you watch this video to this point, God bless you and have a good, beautiful day. And please be careful, because I don't know if my destination is real, but you really don't want to be a victim of some crazy circumstance. So God protect all of us. Please make sure you're a Christian if you can. I'm not pushing Christianity on everybody. I'm not going to be one of those people. But I get the concept. But regardless, just make sure that, please, if possible, follow God, because we're all going to die eventually, and you really want to be in a good place when you die. You want to be in heaven when you die. It's not like you have to live a sad life for that. You can live a very good, happy life, but just make sure that God is in your life. You communicate with God a lot. If you are struggling with anything and people tell you you're going to help for that particular thing, just always talk to God that, God, I can't help but do this thing. Please communicate with me, talk to me, stuff like that. Just try to have a good relationship with God, because final destination is a huge reminder that we're all going to die eventually. So when you die, if you die and hell is not real, you have really not much to lose, to be honest, other than the fact that you didn't do some certain things. But if you die and hell is real, you just literally, you can't go back. So you just now have to deal with this reality that you don't want to deal, which is like a horror movie in real life. And you're never going to leave that horror state, because you can't even die. If you could die in hell, it would be like, oh, you experience it for a while and then you passed out and you cease from existence. Nope, you're going to experience that for the rest of your life. So is it really worth it? Nope, it's not really worth it. So it's just a good school of thought. Just think, I feel like I do a lot of dumb things. I might still do even dumber things, but I just always try to make sure I talk to God, and I pray it stays that way in Jesus' name. Fire. That no matter how crazy I get, I always get to speak to God. I always say, God, thank you for being in my life. Always, please guide my path. Even if I do the dumbest things, even when I do rubbish, even when I deserve to go to hell, please don't give up on me, so that I don't get to be in hell. And besides, personally, I feel living a life talking to the Holy Spirit and communicating with God actually very nice. God is really nice, in my own personal opinion. So it's really nice. But do you, whatever makes you happy. It's just very, very important, good school of thought, school for thought. Do have an amazing day, and thank you for watching my video. Bye.